time of 8:45 UTC. I think that fits in better with my schedule. Morning, Alexander is with me. I'll just start with a little summary on my side. I've had lots of great local sport pull requests. What is that? Am I muted? Oh, it's typing there. Oh, goodness. Yeah, I've just been working through those. I hadn't actually looked at Alexander's one in detail. What's going on? Yeah, all the greatest client meeting tomorrow, MOOC release tomorrow, the same old story. Alexander, how are things going with you?
I've done bug fix on local support, but I'm not sure about test.
Okay, sure. I was just trying to screen share, and for some reason Firefox is not letting me screen share, which is really annoying. As I was just going to go to your pull request. Maybe you could pull up your pull request and do a screen share for me.
Yes.
All sorts of trouble with Hangouts this morning. So there we go. Excellent. Yeah, I've got your code locally as well.
I'm not sure about this line.
Yeah, at the moment I can't see which line you're referring to. At the moment, I'm just getting an image of your. It's an image of myself, so it's maybe frozen up. Let me just try reloading. Oh, morning, Sergio. Yeah. At the moment, I can't see which line you're referring. Sergio, so I'm just going to mute you briefly because we're having some audio feedback from you there. I'm just going to try and reload and see if I can get screen share work. Yeah, no screen share for me. It's so annoying. What to do? I may just quit Firefox once and.
Hello. I can't hear you.
Hello?
Hello there. All right, Sergio, how's it going?
Okay.
I muted you before because there was a bit of. I think the screen share. I've got screen share working now. Here we go. Yeah, we were just going through a little pull request that Alexander has sent. So yeah, Alexander, I was just looking over your pull request. Shall I just give you some quick feedback on this? Is that okay?
Yes.
So one thing is I noticed that you've done the pull request from your develop branch, which is kind of okay in the first instance, but ideally you want to create a feature branch, yeah, and do the pull request from the feature branch. Does that make sense?
I've created the bug fix branch and then merged in locally, and then.
Oh, you merged it locally into develop. I think you probably would prefer to do it from the feature branch itself, and then let me merge it into develop, and then you can pull that back down from the upstream. But anyway, I mean, ultimately, that's your prerogative how to do that. But if we look at at least the way that we're doing things is that people other people tend to keep things on the feature branch like this. See, and then that also the feature branch names what the feature is as well. So that's sort of helpful for coordination. Anyway, yeah. So you've got. I'm just looking. So what you've done here for fixed inviting the deleted user bug is you've got here a batch invite job, and you've got an option here to run. So this is in the service object. So you've got an operation to completely delete the deleted users and remove them. Yep, and then we've got a test for it. So that looks like it looks like a reasonable thing. We've got Raoul texting me at the same time. Let's see about. Yeah, I mean, this looks like. This is a very minor comment. Is the spelling of completely here is slightly wrong. So usually we would spell this deleted users is the correct spelling for that, but don't worry about that too much. I guess I might call it purge deleted users. Right, so that's just something to consider there. In terms of whether this is the right approach overall, that's a good question. I mean, basically, I guess what we have is, I mean, it's sort of I imagine it works. My concern is that we have, you know, okay, what is it? So what you're doing here is you're deleting those deleted users where and only where the emails are in the invites. Right. Okay. Yeah, that seems like a good approach. I was just thinking I was concerned, like maybe what's the word? Like it would be purging the other users who might have been deleted temporarily, not in relationship to invites. So that seems to get round that. So here we've got deleted user. I guess looking at the test, I'm not sure that this tests. So the code looks pretty good, but this test seems to be really just a test of factory girl at the moment. Alexander, do you know what I mean?
We create a user in database. I'm not sure. Does we need to touch database?
Well, yeah, me neither. I mean, I think that the thing that we need to, well, I mean, that's a separate question. But the point is, at the moment, this test is not testing this behavior. You know what I mean? Like, what we would need in this test, like if we look at the test in some other places. So, for example, oh no, wait, sorry. I'm sorry. My apologies. Yes, the subject is right. Actually, that it runs the service object. So. Okay, so it's testing the operation. I guess what I would be expecting from the test is that the test would involve, well, we might need a test with a different subject. In that we need to, or what we need to do is having run this once, what we need to do is we need to rerun it again. Yeah, having deleted the user in between. I mean, we need to rerun it again for the same user. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know if any of this is actually necessary. What we want to make sure is that we should rerun the invitation given that the delete make sure. There we go. Does that make sense, Alexander? So you might need to think about this and watch the recording again. I mean, the key thing is what you've done here, which is the sort of traditional. I suspect. Did you write this code first before writing the test?
I run test without and with code, and with code doesn't have errors, and without it's error.
Okay. I'm sorry. Yeah. No, okay. So forgive me. I think actually I'm misinterpreting. If I look at this ordering thing, yes. So in this case, you're creating a deleted user. Yes, you're simulating the case where and then right. So we call the subject here, and then we right. Sorry, it was just confusing for me because I wasn't realizing the subject was actually running the service object, which of course it is. So we're expecting, having run that, to change the user count. And in particular, I think what we're particularly keen to do is I would almost, rather than necessarily checking the database change there, is we could even expect that to not raise error. Do you know what I mean? So we could, or possibly, yeah, sorry, it's just taking me to this thing on the train. I looked over everybody else's pull requests and I was just getting to yours, and then it finished. But so we could, like, since this is a bug report, the bug report was that this behavior, right, led to the raising of an error. So we've said we don't want it to raise error. I wish that these things would allow us to put the details of the error, but usually in our spec, I notice it says you're not allowed to specify which error. You just say you don't want it to raise an error. But so I would maybe consider changing it to this. Does that make sense?
Why we don't need to add the user to database?
Well, I mean, you could have this check as well, but I think we've already got. You could have both these tests. So this could be, so I could put either replace with or add, like this. I mean, the point was here is that we're not, at this point, we're not driving the test from a kind of expected behavior on the part of the user, or sort of like a demand from the client. This is like we're effectively dealing with a bug report, and so the danger is, I mean, here in some ways, is that this is focusing on a side effect of the actual nature of the bug report.
Not expected behavior.
Yeah. So I mean, it's kind of, to be honest, I think you've got the structure of the test correct, and what you've got is you've got an error occurring either before and after. Yeah. I mean, I would say, as with any suggestions that I make, they're not like you must do. They're kind of suggestions. So they're things to think about and consider the alternatives and consider what you prefer. There's a phrase, food for thought. I don't know if you've heard of this phrase, food for thought. It's something to think over. Yeah, now that I've properly understood the test here, I think yes, I think you're doing the right sort of thing. I mean, what I notice as well, though, is it could be, there's other aspects of the test about whether this has been in the invites or not. The first option. Should we, for the difference between has it muted me? Yeah, okay, I'm back. When I type, it mutes me. It's so annoying. I wish we could turn that feature off. Because I'm just looking at this. You've got yes@hello.com. So that @invites there, if we view the whole file again. So where's that @invites coming from? @invites. I'm not seeing @invites. Oh, that was in the. Oh, right, there's in the code base. Right. Yeah. So we've got. Right. So there's a sort of situation where we should maybe be checking that other users are not deleted. So in this case, I guess we've got the invite list includes this, and it's been passed in. But so there's a. Do you know what I'm saying? There's another situation like we want to make sure that other, things have not been deleted. Where are my comments gone? Oh, there we go. Yes. Does that make sense, Alexander?
I need some time.
Sure, no problem.
you think that we maybe delete undeleted users?
Well, I think it looks to me like that. You know, this is only going to delete those that are coming in the invites. I'm just imagining. So you know, I think you've done the right thing here. I think this covers that case, but I think that this test doesn't check that we're only deleting you know, the invited users. Do you know what I mean?
Only delete invited users. Test. We need.
No, so I think this is correct. I'm just thinking about test coverage and catching things. But anyway, let's leave it there for the moment, and I'll maybe put some more comments in later, and I have a think about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. Let me just check in with Sergios. How are things going with you, Sergios? Are you all right? You, Sergios.
Yeah. Everything's okay right now.
Good. Yeah, good stuff. Anything? Are you blocked by anything? Anything we can help you with?
Yeah. I have some problems with the. No, not problems. I was ordering the right processor for the pair programming.
Oh, okay.
Should I find first who to hook up and then create the event, or I'm creating the events and whoever wants to join?
It can be both ways around. It's all good. I mean, I think the ultimate answer is whatever works. So it's great to find people in advance, but of course with people all around the world and with different lifestyles, sometimes people become unavailable. So, you know, you might plan to pair with a specific person, but then they're not available. So, I mean, I think a mixture of both is good. I mean, if you can find someone and plan an event and put that event in the calendar, that's great. But if you can't find somebody, then still just put an event in the calendar that's good for you and publicize it and see who shows up is the kind of way to maximize the chances of getting a pair.
Okay. So if I will create an event, can I create a lot of events, or?
Sure, you can. I mean, if there's a regular time that's good for you, I would create a repeating event rather than lots of separate events. But okay. What are you looking to pair on? You're looking to pair on the CS169 assignments, or on local support, or what are you looking to pair on?
Both.
Yeah. Okay. There you go. Yeah. Well, so for example, I mean, as Sue was discussing there, Alexander is working on local support, and so I mean, you guys are in very different time zones, but you know, you might have an overlap. So you guys could be talking to each other about pairing together on local support. I mean, if you're both free now, you could spend a few minutes, you know, chatting about. I mean, Alexander could be telling you, Sergios, what Alexander's been doing and been working on, and you could look at a bit of code together. Not a full pairing session, but just have a chat. And for the, I mean, in some ways, for the 169, you know, I would be reviewing the events page for. If we just go over here. I mean, I think as the thing goes on and the number of students reduces, it becomes more and more difficult to find people to pair with. But so, you know, if you can see that someone else has set an event and you can join one of those, then that's great. If that's the time that's good for you. If you can't find any that are good for you, then, you know, create another one, yeah. And you know, you can set that to repeat with a certain frequency if that's a regular good time slot for you. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yep. Okay. That's mostly the thing I was wondering what. The other thing.
Yes.
That's not the minor, but I came up right now because I haven't been in a pair programming session for a long time. Yeah, I'm not sure how it's. How can I say? Because I will be the role of the teaching assistant in the CS in the MOOC. I'm not so sure about how it's gonna work. Because probably I will be the one that will be the driver. the
Well,
coder?
I mean, the key thing is to watch the video that we have in the MOOC for for the homework 0, and we show Thomas and I show pair programming for homework 0. So, do you know that video?
No. I will search it. Okay.
Yeah, let me make sure that you've got that. I think that's probably the best. I mean, it's using the old version of CS169, but I think in terms of Driver Navigator, and it's got a transcript on it, so you can, let's have a look where to find that. Week 1. Dun, 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 dun. There we go. This is the video. See, and so within here, like it's got the complete. Let's pop that in here for you. Yeah. So on YouTube, it's got the videos. So that's this one. Hey, welcome. So we're going to show you. Yeah. So it goes on, and it's got full, captions on it and everything. So you can see us, doing this, that, and the other. And I'll just put that in. Dun, 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 dun. And so, what's your Sergio? Are you Sergio Good on? I'll just put that link into the main chat as well. There we go. Okay. All right. Well.
Anyway.
Hopefully that will help. Yeah. Anyway, I look forward to seeing you in other sessions. I've got to run now, but if you guys want Alexander, Sergio, do feel free. Just because I leave doesn't mean you have to go. If you want to chat about local support and pairing and so on, be my guest. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, guys. I'll speak to you both real soon. Bye for now.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. Oh.